So I'm going to read 3 poems tonight, and all of them engage with the theme of challenging conventional wisdom. The first is the general belief now that love is dead, that romance has passed, the great age of chivalry died with Elvis or something. And this is a poem called Dear Tina. I'm a romantic. I don't think love is dead. I don't think romance is dead. I think it simply found a new language, as is the sign of a new age. So this is about one of those new languages. It's dedicated tonight to Blackberry Babes. If you're aware of the Nollywood film. It goes like this. Dear Tina, the day I discovered how she survived the Civil War, how she saw her friends pass like minutes into oblivion, how she screamed through Morse codes and bullets and jungle, dodging bullets, hiding and crying into rain. The day I discovered my grandfather heard her wailing, felt something enough to move him after her in darkness through rain, how her eyes found in the flickering bounce of hurricane lamps, showed a place so pure, he sailed her away to the embrace of Paris, the kiss of Rome, the world with its wide welcoming dome. The day I discovered why she'd call him hero, she died peacefully, 90 years old. He followed an hour after, again into darkness, all these years, and he never let go. That day, I realized we live in different worlds. Friends passed too fast for minutes, wars come after X Factor, and turtle dove romances exist in the past. But I will send one sentence to you. One text message screaming through Wi-Fi zones and digital codes, dodging ones and zeros like bullets and anti-heroes, promising, if ever you're lost in this urban jungle, I'll find and bring you in from rain. Thank you. Thank you. So, thank you. 2 more poems to go. The second is about prayer being good. I think it's generally believed that this is so. But please, if you think prayer is a good thing, can I see your hands? Let me see. Okay. I don't think it always is. In the sense that, let me explain myself. In the sense that if you pray that you find 100 pounds and you do, it's generally because someone lost 100 pounds. So there's a balance there. There's karma disrupted. And this poem kind of engages that. So please, again, by show of hands, if you've ever prayed for money, please raise your hand. Go on. Okay, brilliant. Sorry, I was at the South Bank Center in Richmond yesterday. And when I asked these questions, only about 5 people raised up their hands. I think because when you live in the South Bank Center in Richmond, those are rich places. So I guess I live in South London. I'm Nigerian. I have prayed for money. Right, let's get this straight. And so this poem is dedicated to that. It's called Faith in a Time of Double-Dip Recessions. Once, in the blue moon of my prayers, I rise, brush the dust off my knees, and imagine the answering angel hears me as Tiger Woods might sense a far hole. Such fields of folks of distance to cover and one stroke to get it right. The angel, he floats down, and with the featherest of touches, taps a bus driver's shoulder, vanishing in a puff of something warm that smells like home. She turns, sniffs, an instant longing hits her gut. The bus stalls for 10 short seconds, but it's long enough for Ahmed to sulk off. Hail a taxi, ask the chatty driver politely to shut up and drive. Down the road he accelerates, gotta get this bastard off my back seat, he thinks, narrowly missing Mrs. Smith, who startles her latte across her blouse, spews the foulest words, A passing schoolgirl taps a teacher with, "That's it, Daddy used those words." The father is called, cancels his afternoon mistress to meet his daughter's teacher for a serious talk. And the angel grips his clipboard, ticks the box for sin accidentally averted as he catalogues the toppling dominoes of his handiwork. That's us, coiling out across the city, the magnificent dance of chance and chaos that few revel in. Many hate, some believe to be ordered only when convenient, whispering help, intense, desperate, as I for money, love, or strength to break a door, as a burglar might when the alarm goes off. And old Miss Williams, her arms laden with bin bags outside the job center where she works, searches for keys, misses the £5 note leak from her purse. It falls slow as feathers, holy as answered prayers, to land among bags of reference letters, CVs, job applications, and exam results. These littered like discarded dreams of a generation, or new bag placed on top. I imagine the angel planned all this. Saw I'd step out empty-handed, save a couple pennies tinkling like false gods. His left wing kinda twitched, and he felt I'd come along empty-handed, Converse All-Star scuffing concrete, kick one plastic bag swollen with rain, glimpse the £5 note I scoop into the emptiness that is my wallet, lift my voice up past skyscrapers, stars glittering with the mysterious ways it is said he works in, on past the angels to finally thank God. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, my last poem for the evening, sorry for the day. Thanks for listening. My last poem challenges the idea that poetry is controlled. And I think it is, but in many ways it isn't. Okay. I do something called the Midnight Run, where I gather complete strangers and we walk through the streets of a city from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. 12 hours. We do this when it's warm enough just to wear a t-shirt, don't worry. 12 hours wandering the streets of a city purely and singularly to have fun. That's it. We try to enjoy the city as people who live there, as a child does a maze, instead of people just going to work or going back home. We try to inhabit and recolonize these spaces that are increasingly being privatized and kept away from us. I did 2 midnight runs this year in Milan and in Florence. I didn't speak a word of Italian, which is, the only thing I can say in Italian is "your mother is very ugly," which doesn't really help. But it went beautifully. I had such a great time in Italy that I cried at the airport when I was leaving. I wept like a wet child. And there's going to be a midnight run in Barcelona next year in June, and one in Kuala Lumpur. And the point is purely to have fun. And the reason is because I think that when you live in a city, there are rules. There are things like bridges, there are stop signs, there are traffic lights telling you do this, go there. And our job of city dwellers is to navigate the confines of these rules to create our own journeys and leave our marks on the cities. I think similarly, rappers are tasked with the same thing. Hip-hop comes from the cities. Rappers, too, are tasked with bars, things like drum machines and music patterns and riffs that also impose an idea and a structure on the voice of the rapper. And the job of the rapper is to find equilibrium within all of this, to best represent their identities and the personalities and their stories on the music. And I think, similarly, poets are tasked with the same thing. Language is a sprawling city, also with rules, also with regulations of punctuations, of paragraphs, of stop signs, everything. And the job of poetry is to bend all these rules, to wrap it around ourselves. And people want us to do this. That's why there are things like poetic licenses. So you can bend the rules, flip off, toss colons at the language Nazis and say, yeah, we can do this and it's okay. I think also within cities, there are people called guerrilla gardeners. Have you heard of them? Yeah, and these guys, they find things like disused urban spaces and plant gardens and flowers and daffodils. And once, not too far from here actually, a guerrilla gardener came to a midnight run. At about 3 a.m., there were 30 of us in our knees planting daffodils into traffic islands. It was beautiful. 2 police squad cars pulled up. We just waved at them and gave them a daffodil, and it drove off into the sunset. It was gorgeous. This poem called Guerrilla Garden Writing Poem tries to navigate all of those 3 things. And it goes a little bit like this. The mouth of the city is tongued with tar. Its glands gutter saliva, teeth chatter in rail clatter, throat echoes car horns and tires screech. Forging new language, a brick city smoke speak of stainless steel consonants and suffocated vowels. These are trees and shrubbery, the clustered flora battling all hours, staccato staggered through streets. Meet Rich and Eleanor on Braeburn Grove as he wrestles her wheelbarrow over cobblestones to the traffic island Bakito Road, where this night, colored a turquoise grit, cathedral quiet and saintly, makes prayer of their whispers and ritual of their work. Bend over, clear rubble, cut weed, and plant. But more than seeds are sown here. You can tell by his tender pat on tended patch, the soft cuff to a boy's head, first day to school. But how they rest with parent pride against stone walls, huff into winter's cold, press faces together as though 2 lips might stem from 2 lips. Gather spades, forks, weeds, and go. Rich wheelbarrows back to Eleanor as vowers flower, of flowers vowel through smoke speak. The soil softens, the city drenched with new language thrills, and the drains are drunk with dreams. The sky sways on the safe side of tipsy, and it's altogether an alien time of half-life and hope, an after-fight of gentle fog and city smog, where the debris of dew drips to this narrative of progress, this city tale. This story is my story, this vista, my song. I cluster in the quiet. I too stack against still. I seek islands, I hope, and a pen to sow with. Thank you. Brilliant. Thank you.